ഹലോ എവ്രിവൺ ആൻഡ് വെൽക്കം. ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ മാനേജ്മെന്റിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനപരമായ 5 ഫംഗ്ഷൻസിനെ കുറിച്ചാണ് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. പക്ഷേ ഹോൾഡ് ഓൺ, ഇത് നിങ്ങളുടെ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ബുക്ക് പോലെ ഒരു ബോറിംഗ് ലിസ്റ്റ് ആയിരിക്കില്ല. തിങ്ക് ഓഫ് ദിസ് മോർ ലൈക്ക് എ പ്രാക്ടിക്കൽ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് ബൈ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് ഗൈഡ്. നമ്മളൊരു ബിസിനസ് എങ്ങനെ സ്ക്രാച്ചിൽ നിന്നും തുടങ്ങാമെന്ന് ഈ 5 ഫംഗ്ഷൻസ് വെച്ച് പഠിക്കും. റെഡിയാണോ?
So, let's say you have a dream. Maybe it's a cool tech startup, or a small boutique, or even a cozy little coffee shop.
എല്ലാവരുടെയും മനസ്സിൽ വരുന്ന ആദ്യത്തെ ചോദ്യം ഒന്നാണ്,
Where do I even begin?
തുടങ്ങാനുള്ള ആ ഫസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റെപ്പ് എടുക്കുന്നത് ഒരു വലിയ മല കയറും പോലെ തോന്നും, അല്ലേ?
But what if I told you the secret is just understanding a few core principles of management? And here it is, the secret recipe. Management has 5 core functions: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Ianajanam idor ideayam or a successful businessaki matanala anju powerful stepside namakkanam. E journey easyakon, let's imagine we're starting our own coffee shop called Namude Cafe. So let's start with function number 1.
ഫസ്റ്റ് തിങ്സ് ഫസ്റ്റ്, ഒരു ബിസിനസ്, സ്പെഷ്യലി നമ്മുടെ കാഫെ പോലുള്ളത്, തുടങ്ങുന്നത് ഒരു ഫാൻസി കോഫി മെഷീൻ വാങ്ങുന്നതിലല്ല. ഇറ്റ് ഓൾ സ്റ്റാർട്ട്സ് വിത്ത് എ സോളിഡ് ബ്ലൂ പ്രിന്റ്. എല്ലാത്തിനും അടിത്തറയിടുന്ന ആ ആദ്യത്തെ മോസ്റ്റ് ക്രൂഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റെപ്പിന്റെ പേരാണ് പ്ലാനിംഗ്.
So what exactly is planning? Put simply, it's thinking before doing. Namude Cafe'യുടെ കേസിൽ എല്ലാ തീരുമാനങ്ങളും എടുക്കുന്ന this സ്റ്റേജിൽ ആണ്. What kind of coffee will we sell? Where will our cafe be located? What's our budget for the first 6 months? This is where we create the entire roadmap for our business.
Now, here's something interesting. Plans, or poleala, we can broadly classify them into 2 types. First, you have the single-use plan. Think of this like the plan for Namude Cafe's grand opening event. It's a one-time thing. You plan it, you execute it, and then that specific plan is done. On the other hand, you have a standing plan. Idu nammal regular-ayi use cheyuna onnanu. For example, the exact recipe and steps for making our signature cappuccino. Adu divasavum ubyogikkunna or standing plan anu.
For all the students watching, this slide is super important for your exams. The key difference is this. Standing plans are for recurring situations, like our daily procedures, and they are used for a long period. Single-use plans, like our opening day program or a specific project budget, are for a unique one-time purpose. A purpose thernatore a planum turno. Simple, right? You know, planning itself has a process. It's very logical. First, we set an objective for Namude Cafe. Let's say we want to sell coffee worth 50,000 rupees in the first month. Then, we look at alternatives, select the best strategy, create smaller supporting plans to achieve it, and finally, we do a follow-up to make sure we're on track. It's a flow, from a big goal down to the small actionable steps. Okay, so now we have a brilliant plan on paper. What's next? Well, a plan is just a document until you build a structure to make it happen. You need a framework. And that brings us right to our second function. It's time for organizing. Organizing is all about building that framework. It's about deciding who does what in Namude Cafe, who is going to be the manager, who are the baristas, who handles the cash. We're essentially creating an organizational chart here, defining roles and responsibilities so that everyone knows their job and who they report to. No confusion. And this slide perfectly shows how that structure can change. When Namude Cafe is just one small shop, a simple line organization is enough. The manager gives instructions directly to the employees. But what if we grow into a big chain? A Ponamuka specialist Sunday? We might need a marketing expert or a financial controller. That's when we use a line and staff organization. The line managers still run the cafes, but they get expert advice from the staff, specialists. And in any structure, you'll always find 2 types of organizations living together. The formal organization is the official one we just designed, the chart, the rules. But then there's the informal organization. Idu jolikarude swabhavigamai undavuna friendships social groups okana. A great manager understands that both exist, and that the informal one can have a huge impact on how work gets done. All right, we have a plan and we have a structure. But right now, Namude Cafe is just an empty building with an organization chart full of empty boxes. We need to fill those boxes with the right people. This brings us to our third and very human function, staffing. Staffing is the heart of the people side of any business. It's not just about hiring people. It's about finding the best barista who makes amazing coffee, hiring a friendly cashier who makes customers smile, and then training them well and keeping them happy so they want to stay with Namude Cafe. Just like planning, staffing also has a clear process. It starts with manpower planning, where we figure out how many people we need. Then comes recruitment, inviting applications, followed by selection, where we choose the best candidates. We then do placement, put them in the right job, give them training, and later on, a performance appraisal to see how they're doing. It's a complete cycle for managing our team.
Excellent! Nombre Cafe is now open for business. We have a plan, a structure, and an awesome team. The doors are open and customers are walking in. Now, the manager's job shifts to day-to-day action, and this is our fourth function, directing.
Directing is the function that breathes life into everything else. It's the manager guiding the team, motivating them on a slow day, supervising the work to ensure quality, and communicating instructions clearly. It's all about leading the team forward to achieve the daily goals we set in our plan. And directing has four main components. You need supervision to oversee the work, you need motivation to inspire the team, you need leadership to guide them, and you need good communication so that everyone is on the same page. A great manager is skilled in all four of these.
Okay, so 1 month has passed since Nombre Cafe opened. Things seem to be going well, but how can we be sure? Are we actually hitting the targets we set back in the planning stage? This leads us to our final, fifth function, controlling. Controlling simply means comparing our actual performance with our plan. Remember our goal of selling coffee worth 50,000 rupees? We check how much we actually sold. If we fell short, controlling is the process of figuring out why and correcting our mistakes. Think of it as management's feedback loop.
Here's how it works. 1. We establish a standard. For example, sell 100 coffees a day. 2. We measure our actual performance. Let's say we only sold 80. 3. We compare the two. We see a gap. So, step 4 is to take corrective action. Maybe we can run a buy one, get one free offer to boost sales. This process makes sure we stay on track. So as you can see now, these 5 functions aren't separate, isolated steps. They are part of a continuous cycle where one flows into the other. The results from controlling will help us with our next cycle of planning. The needs of the plan will affect our organizing and staffing. It's this combined dynamic process that drives every business forward, from our small Nombre Cafe to the world's largest corporations. And now, I want you to think about your own dream business for a moment. It could be an app, a shop, or a service. Out of these 5 functions, planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, which one do you think would be the biggest challenge for you, and why? Just thinking about that is your first step towards becoming a great manager. Reflect on that, and we'll see you in the next one.